Detective Senior Constable Richard Hughes in the studio for Good Chat. Richard, thanks for joining me, mate.
Thanks, Liam, for having me.
Understand that you and the CIU team have, reopened a case from 2024 regarding an aggravated burglary.
That's correct.
Just tell me a little bit about what the case is about.
Well, at this stage, this occurred on the 10th of May, Friday the 10th of May last year. It's unsolved. Mm-hmm. We want to solve it. It must be solved. And on this, at about 5:45 a.m. that morning, mm-hmm. two male offenders have kicked open a door at a residential premises in Landmann Street, Warrnambool. And at the time, a 55-year-old female was asleep in her room, and they've kicked open the door to her room. They've produced both what we believe to be in possession of sawn-off long-arm firearms.
Yep.
Have produced them to her, have made demands for money, mm-hmm. And at one stage struck her to the head with great force with the butt of the firearm.
Yep. They've
stolen her black and yellow purse containing her belongings, her ID and her cash, mm-hmm. and have fled. All we can describe is that the offenders are they're male. The victim described them as being, maybe one of them was 6'2" and the other one was a lot shorter.
Okay.
They both appeared to have Australian accents, and it sounded though that they were Australian by the sound of it.
Must have been traumatising.
Oh, absolutely. Look, she wasn't knocked out, yep. but she was conveyed to hospital and had a major head injury. So she was taken to hospital, and she wasn't released till later that day. So it could have got a lot worse, but the mental trauma, is still ongoing for her, and I've made a pledge that I'll solve it. Somehow, by hook or by crook, we've got to solve it.
So I guess that leads me to the question, we see so many of these instances around the region. Unfortunately, there's just some horrible people out there. What prompted you and the CIU to go, righto, we're going to reopen this case and we're going to pull the trigger and try and find something?
Well, it's nearly a year on. Well, it's well over a year on.
Yep.
And it's solvable. Mm-hmm. Every crime is solvable,
yep.
even a smashed letterbox. Mm-hmm. And I thought a job of this magnitude cannot go without another re-release to the public to try and generate some form of information. Because yep. there'll be people out there who'll know who did this,
yep.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Yep. There'll be people in Warrnambool who are fully aware on who did it, and we want to know. We want more information on as to who was responsible and how we can prove that.
Has there been some similarities in some other instances that you might think might be linked to this cause?
I don't think anything. This woman was targeted.
Yep.
I don't think there's any related other incidents. I think this is isolated, but there was definitely a amount of preparation and work that went into by the offenders for this particular female victim. Mm-hmm. But I don't believe it's linked to any others.
Well, that's good. That's comforting. And obviously, the nature of the crime, some assault, firearms, it's offending of the highest degree, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And when I got to Warrnambool CIU 20 years ago, or nearly 20 years ago, this sort of thing was unheard of. Mm. And even having worked in Melbourne for 8 years prior to that, they were still relatively rare to some degree. But unfortunately now, they're a lot more prolific. More so in Melbourne, but we get them here too. But this is probably one of the more severe ones that is unfortunately still unsolved.
Is there a consensus among you and the CIU team as to why we're seeing more of these? Is it because we're seeing a lot more, obviously, drug crime?
Yep.
What do you think is prompting this spike?
Look, I've got no doubt that it'll be underpinned by ICE specifically. Yeah. And having run the drug unit here between 2013 and 15, I remember when ICE hit here around just before 2013, and it was almost like it hit us overnight. Mm. And that's when the game changed. And that's where the level of crime changed. It just went up quite a few notches. The brazenness, with firearms being produced, the rules went out. There was in the moral code of you don't go and attack women or homes with kids in it, just went out the window. So the whole rule book changed between what crooks did then and what they do now. And definitely methamphetamine or ice, I believe, will be the driver of this.
And I know our drug unit is doing some fantastic work. We see so much of this product taken off the streets,
Yes.
and these dealers taken off the streets.
Yep.
This kind of work does go hand in hand, doesn't it?
It does.
If we can cut it off at the pass
Yep.
from the dealer,
Yes.
then obviously things like this that we're talking about are less
Yes.
likely to happen.
Yeah, that's right. In my view, it is all generated, primarily the crime that we have here is by methamphetamine trafficking and the damage that comes from it. It's insidious.
Yeah, it's horrible. I do want to quickly chat to you about another instance that you and the team are looking into, a theft of livestock out at Bessiebelle.
Yep.
Pretty recently, within the last week or so.
Yeah,
I
it was
believe.
reported yesterday.
Yep.
There was a number of sheep stolen from Bessiebelle,
Yep.
from a property out there on the Portland Road.
Yep.
And it happened over a 2-month period. And I believe a neighbour was also the victim of the month previous, between the April and the May. And she lost a considerable amount of sheep as well. So we're looking just between $50,000 and $100,000 worth of livestock, and that's just one victim.
Yeah.
And, but they're quite hard to solve, obviously, because you've got a remote area, witnesses are limited, evidence is limited. A truck could go out there at any time or day and might not get seen, and sheep are herded into them. So, yeah, quite interested to know if anyone out there knows about anyone that's been up to no good stealing sheep out that way.
Oh, we spoke to the owner, Sean, earlier today, and he said that a lot of the sheep that he had stolen were
Yes.
in fact lambs, and,
Yes.
and they hadn't been weaned off their mothers yet.
Yep.
So there's a really high chance that these animals have not survived.
That's correct. That's the sad and tragic thing about it. But I can tell you, the crooks that have done this and stolen it, they couldn't care less.
No.
They're only after one thing, and that's $1.
Yeah. We see a fair bit of this, don't we? Like, I know Warrnambool Police and I guess more directly Warrnambool CIU used to go to the Warrnambool sale yards quite
Yes.
a lot just to make their presence known, because theft of livestock is one of those, I guess, offences that just seems like it does go below the radar a little bit, but it's just devastating for farming businesses.
Oh, absolutely. I think metropolitan Melbourne people think that it probably doesn't exist, or if it did, it existed 100 years ago.
Or in movies.
Or in movies, yeah. But no, it does, and it affects farmers greatly. And there's a demand for it.
Yeah.
And where there's a demand and there's a dollars needed, the crooks will go down there and they'll help themselves.
And it's almost impossible to try and see where these animals end up, because ear tags get cut. But speaking to Sean today, there's a likelihood that they've just gone straight to an abattoir or something like that.
That or some form of middleman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, if anyone does see anything suspicious around any of our properties, just keep an eye out for your neighbours, I guess. We can only hear about it.
That's right.
In suburbia.
Yep.
But like you mentioned, this particular incident in Bessiebelle, it affected a neighbouring property too. So keep an eye out, look after each other.
Absolutely. We all carry smartphones, use them.
Absolutely.
Take photos, record, just do the common sense thing.
Yeah, and if anyone tuning in today, Richard, has any information, obviously there's Crime Stoppers 1800 333 000, but can they contact you directly, or Warrnambool CIU
Myself,
directly?
5560 1174, or the police station in general.
Yep.
But yeah, Crime Stoppers we often recommend as the first, either via that 1800 number or via the online portal.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for your time, mate.
No
And
worries.
let's hope that having this chat we get some people out there and make people aware of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you.